Hello people. Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, please like the video, share, comment down below. Please subscribe to the channel. This is the second video of this series, and if you're like, what series are you talking about? In this series, I am building the world's greatest application for dancers called DanceBuddy. I'm using Flutter to do it, and I'm taking you along on the journey right from the beginning of ideation, how I came up with the idea, and hopefully all the way to deployment, marketing, and all of that good stuff. So stick around. In this video, I'm just providing a little bit of an update on where I was last time. So check out the previous video where I provide all of the context and show you the basic idea and the basic app essentially that I built up till that point. And in this video, I'm just providing a bit of an update on some of the changes and advancements I've made since then. So hopefully it's going to be a fun video. Hopefully it'll be a short video, and hopefully it'll be interesting. And I'll talk about some of the things that I've encountered so far. Okay, so this is essentially how far I've gotten so far with the app. So I'm just going to run to my home screen. So on the side here, you can see the app. Let me just make that a little bit bigger. Right, so in terms of how it looks, nothing has really changed. But what you might notice is that previously I was only able to essentially display some videos from my local storage. No, not from my local storage, from Firebase. I had integrated it with Firebase storage, but I was only displaying a couple of videos. What I've managed to do now is I have a distinction between folders and actual files, right? So folders have this folder icon and then the videos, and at the moment they're just pictures, but they should be videos, and they will have like this video icon. So when you then click on a video, again, at the moment this does not quite work because it is a picture rather than a video. It's an image, right? So I do have a filter that filters out anything that's not .mov file or MP4 file, so that we only worry about videos. But at the moment, this is just to show stuff. So I have a filter. But yeah, you can see this animation of it loading, trying to get the video slash image, and I get an error because it's not supported, which is whatever. So going back, so that's what I had previously, and now I also have a folder, right? So you can upload, or the idea is that you can upload the videos and you can sort them into folders that you want. So when you click on the folder, it's going to say a little bit of a message, and then it's going to eventually load whatever's inside that folder. Now, inside the folder, you could have more folders, etc., right? And then you could have the actual video just inside the folder. And if it loads okay, then you can play the video. Same video as kind of last time round. But yeah, that's the video you can have. If I go back to the home page. Now, what I haven't quite figured out is obviously you can step into the video and use the back button to get out. The bottom app bar, I still haven't really looked at to making that navigation work properly yet. And then the upload functionality still works the same. One thing I definitely need to do next is actually allow users to create folders within the app. So at the moment, there's no functionality for that. But that's something I'll work on next. Also, a decision I've actually made is that last time around I was talking about storing the files within a database. I've kind of decided that I'm not going to bother to do that. The reason is that Firebase allows you to quite easily list whatever is within folders. So I can list whatever files or folders are within Firebase storage for each user quite easily. And also, having worked with databases in the past, cloud-based databases in the past, they get very expensive very quickly. So I thought I should do whatever I can to avoid storing stuff in databases and just use Firebase storage where I can. So to avoid that future cost, I'm just going to use the folders, use Firebase storage, and list everything I have in folders. Another thing I've actually managed to do is, you might see this message here. I signed in with a temporary user ID. So I have somewhat kind of I'm starting to integrate Firebase authentication into the platform. So the idea, I might show you Firebase storage here. The idea is that within my storage account, we'll have users, and each user will have a unique user ID so that I know who they are, basically. And then for that user, I will get all of the folders or the upload folder for that user, and everything within upload is what will be displayed for that particular user, right? So I needed a demarcation between users so that I know which storage and which folders to grab from Firebase, which is why I'm using the user ID, which should be unique to that particular user. I will eventually create a database so that I store user and the user ID and the name, etc., in the database, and then I know who they are. But for now, I just have this temporary user. And if I just look at the code, I've created a service, authentication service, and Firebase has this method of signing in anonymously. So this is just like a temporary thing that I've done so that I can test the functionality of signing in with a temporary user that gives me a user ID, and I can use that to create the Firebase storage folders. Hopefully that makes sense. In future, I need to obviously the next thing, or one of the next things to do, is to properly integrate user authentication, create a login screen, and all of that good stuff. I am leaving that for a little bit, I think, and focusing more on the functionality of being able to add a folder and then uploading the videos to particular folders that you would want and moving them between folders as well. So that's the progress on the app, I think, for the most part. One decision that I've made is that I am using my storage service. So this is the service used for uploading videos, right? It has the method for uploading videos. It also about getting the videos from storage. I am using a singleton pattern for this. So I looked online, again, not super familiar with Flutter, so some of the conventions might be lost on me, but I'm used to using static methods. For example, I'm come from a Java background for methods that are globally accessible, right? So these methods such as uploading a video, getting videos or files from storage, right? These are globally accessible methods and functions. But I was looking online, and essentially the internet told me that I should use a singleton pattern for services. So my authentication service as well is using this singleton pattern, and this bit of code that you can see at the beginning is just to create the instance, a single instance of that particular class, and then I can use the methods within that class. So I'm using singleton pattern for this. It might not be the best, but I can iterate on that later. I just decided to go with it because the internet essentially said so. And then another change that I've made is that in my model, which represents the actual video, I have removed the ID. So I previously had something like required this.id, right? Which was just an integer, and the only purpose for that was for purposes of the database storage. So when you're storing something in the database, have a primary key, and that was just a video ID. Because I'm not using a database anymore, I just wanted to get rid of it and slim down on my video model. So at the moment, it's just a URL which links to the Firebase, so it's stored in the cloud. So it's like just a URL. It's just a link to the video in Firebase, and then just the title of the video itself. Very simple, and I just simplified it to make it easier for myself. Yeah, that's kind of how far I've gotten. It is interesting because what I've realized whilst working on this app is that it's so easy to get bogged down in little details or in different things that come up. So whilst I was like implementing the Firebase storage and the folder structure, I got lost in the authentication bit. So I was trying to start doing proper authentication. Very quickly, I realized, oh, I'm going too far, right? By focusing on too many things, I wasn't actually focusing on the most important thing, which was at that moment, I wanted to just create a folder and then display whatever's in the folder and then have a distinction between folders and files themselves or videos. So yeah, what helps me is writing stuff down. It sounds very simple. I'm just going to show you what I've got. I have this notebook, basically my everything notebook of just stuff, right? So DanceBuddy at the beginning, at the top there, and you can just see like I just make notes on it. I'm using singleton pattern because the internet said so. Um, when I was deciding on whether I should use a database to store some of my videos, again, just some of my logic in listing out the files within Firebase storage. You have something called prefixes and items. So the items are basically just the video files themselves, and then they link to the video player, whereas the prefixes are basically the folders, and then they would list more files, items, which are files or more folders, right? And then again, all of this logic. Looking online, I saw that you can use a package called Gallery Picker. So I'm at the moment using Image Picker. Maybe Gallery Picker would be better, but I decided to just park that for now to not get bogged down in details, right? In details that weren't important. And then here, creating videos, storage servers, and again, just writing out the logic for what I was trying to do. It helps me kind of think, and that's just a personal thing for me. Um, yeah, the next thing I'm actually looking at that I've started to get bogged down in is state management within my app. It's not something I'm super familiar with, super comfortable with. I think I'm gonna have to do a little bit of learning on this. But yeah, I'm struggling a little bit with the state management. When you upload a video, my app currently doesn't automatically fetch all of the new videos from Firebase storage, which means that I'm not displaying the new video that you just uploaded. So I'm looking into state management. I think I'm going to use a package called um, Riverpod for this, but I need to actually read up on it and learn how to use it. And then what do I have down here? Yeah, this is just about state management. Riverpod a provider, and then could use block, but seems a bit complicated. So I'm gonna separate yeah. So block seems a bit complicated. Not gonna use it, but it's there to separate logic from UI. I've landed on using Riverpod for this. So that's my next big kind of task and goal is to integrate a bit of state management into that, use Riverpod or learn how to use Riverpod and then use that within my app. So yeah, that's the kind of update. I know the video was maybe a little bit messy, didn't show you all that much code, but there's a lot of thinking that's actually happened, but maybe not that much code has been written. But that's all kind of part of the process. I think it's all part of the journey. Yeah, when you're starting on a big project, very easy to have like a million things that you're like, okay, I need to do this. I need to create a login screen. Oh, I need to do a loading bar. Oh, I need to do that. I need to do that. But the most important thing is actually to stay focused on the one thing that you're trying to achieve in that moment. For me, last couple of weeks, it's been, okay, I just want to display files. I want to display folders. I have a difference between them. And then I want to be able to drill down into the folders to display more files and folders. And that was my main kind of goal. I think the next goal for me, as I mentioned already, is to have some kind of state management so that when you upload a new file to the storage and you come back to the home screen, you automatically fetch everything that's in storage so that you can see the new file that you uploaded. That is my goal. And I'll just demonstrate that issue right here real quick. So won't not showing here, right? And I pick a video, and this should be an image. This one, I set the file state has been set, and then I upload that. And when it eventually runs, we have the success message, but as you can see on screen here, this not showing file is not showing on the actual home screen. So yeah, what I need to do is, and if I just reload my app, what you'll hopefully see is that here you go. So then it shows up here. So I need to be able to have that happen without obviously reloading the app, right? So when it comes back to the home screen, you should always try and fetch from storage, Firebase storage. So that's the next goal. Implement some kind of state management and then be able to fetch videos. And I want to fix that particular flow that I just showed you. So that's the goal. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this little update. I'll do another update in a few days, maybe a couple of weeks, on what progress I make with the app and what kind of issues I run into. And I'll see you in the next one. Wow. Life is actually so funny because about 10 or 15 minutes after I uploaded that first section of the video, I actually managed to resolve the little issue I was showing you. So just to show you what I've done, I am once you click on the floating actions button on the home screen, which I can show you here, right? So this floating actions button, you click on that, you go to the upload screen, upload a new move. So that's what I've got here, right? I'm pushing onto the navigator, and then I'm going to the upload screen. Now, previously, after I went to the upload screen, I just didn't do anything inside the home screen. But I looked online and I essentially found a solution that said, when you're on one screen and you want to go to the next screen, I want to make sure that on this next screen, so if I show you the upload screen here, from this screen here, upload screen, I'm doing stuff, I'm uploading the video here, right, uploading the video here, and then eventually I'm popping this off the stack, this upload screen. So because I initially navigated from the home screen, it will go back to the home screen. My issue was it wasn't setting the state when it was going back. But I just looked online and essentially just added this bit of code here that just sets the state. All it does is it pushes onto the stack and then sets state. So once I pop this off the stack, this will run and it gets the videos. So I can just demonstrate that now. So here you can see I'm on the upload new move. Let's call that test 1, 2, 3. Pick something and upload it. And after a little while, boom, and there you go. You can see that, right? And the video's there, which is beautiful, which is what I was looking for. So yeah, staying focused on one thing, write it down, and you can find solutions, man. Amazing.